and then I can talk and look into your eyes. So nice. It's exactly what I was expecting for my Wednesday evening.
Remember that one time I did a thumbnail and it was like us looking at each other and you're like, "Oh, this looks too awkward, dude. People are saying things," and we had to change it.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whiskey and the Six. I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whisky Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty,
It's frustrating.
and it's going to be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
And I almost blew up the whole podcast today.
You ruined it. It's fine. We had to reset.
Yeah.
Got a little anxious, but tonight we're talking about our dream distillery.
Our dream distillery, we're going to pick and blend our own distillery, basically, with the bottles that we have behind us.
Yeah, so we're going to take different elements from different distilleries that we like and kind of explain why we would want those specific things to come together and make one whiskey. Like, obviously, Springbank, we're a huge Springbank fan. That's probably our favorite distillery.
Yeah.
But we like elements from different distilleries. And if we could bring the best of each distillery into one, what will we pick? What will we want?
Are we going to, almost attempt to recreate Springbank here?
I don't know. You think that's just what's going to happen?
So, one of the rules we gave ourselves is we couldn't use Springbank in the mix.
Right.
So-
Some people will say oh, Macallan has the best sherry,
Right.
or Octomore has the best peat, or this distillery has the best this, or this distillery has the best this. We're gonna pick what we think is the best.
Right.
And we're gonna blend something together. Mm-hmm. We're gonna pick some bottles. We're gonna pour it. We're gonna blend it. We're gonna try it blind, and we'll see if we like my blend better or your blend better.
Yeah, so we're gonna use the black glasses and basically give it a go, and we're not gonna know what they taste like until we try a blind.
Yeah. So we've selected 5 bottles each of distilleries that represent things that we like specifically about them. Rob has taken the sherry forward approach.
Right.
I've taken the more ex-bourbon-ish approach.
Right.
Where most of my bottles are majority ex-bourbon and most of your bottles are majority sherry.
Majority sherry, or at least the blend is majority sherry.
Right.
Right, because I might add a bottle that might have a little bit more bourbon cask and sherry cask influence, but ultimately in the blend it'll be sherry forward.
Yeah, definitely. We've got these nifty little measuring containers.
Like baby bottles, yeah?
I think they are. Well, I know what they're for. They're for just putting in condiments or
Oh, okay.
simple syrup or whatever you make at home and you want to measure it.
Cool. What were you calling them earlier? I'm curious.
Yeah. Can we say that on YouTube?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd rather not. Maybe we should just leave it.
It was something that you may see at a Mayo Clinic or something that would want to measure some fluid,
Right.
Right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
There won't be any
We're
measuring.
not gonna be. Yeah, we're not gonna be. It's not gonna be one of those contests tonight.
This is getting off the rails. We should get
We're
started.
getting off the rails. So this is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna bring out my first bottle.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go for majority ex-bourbon. And who has done ex-bourbon better recently in the Scotch world than Daft Mill? Their ex-bourbon stuff has been phenomenal. This is the Daft Mill 2009 summer batch release. It was limited to 1,790 bottles.
Yep.
So I believe they cast together 6 or so.
And then there's a couple of sherry, but majority is bourbon cask.
Right. So I think the majority is ex-bourbon cast here with a couple of sherries. I absolutely love Daft Mill.
Daft Mill's great.
Everyone raves about it. That lowland profile is really good. I'm doing 1 ounce.
1 ounce.
1 ounce of this.
Okay.
What do you got?
As you can see, there's a little bit of contents in my cup already because I got trigger happy. I'm going to start with a heavy single cask Glenallachie. Everybody knows I love the mineral forward content in Glenallachie, and this is an Oloroso single cask. So, I want to bring up with a heavy ABV.
Yeah.
I'm going to mix it down because the other stuff that I selected is 46% for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
but this is going to give me a big punch of sherry, and it's going to give me a big ABV right off the hop.
Love that. Love that. How much are you going to do with that?
1 ounce.
1 ounce of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to write down how much I put in here. So we know the percentages at the end of the blend. Like, what percentage is this? What percentage is that? So I got 1 ounce Daft Mill.
All right.
All right. Secondly, these Daft Mills are what? 12 years old, 10 years old. I need some age. And what better way to go get some age and some ABV? Cragganmore 20.
That's a beauty.
This is a 2020 special release, cask strength. This Cragganmore, I mean, we absolutely love this bottle, and this was a good deal too. What did we pay for this thing?
That was less than $200 at the time, or about $200 bang on. This is when the Diageo special releases were actually well priced.
Yes, in 2020, Diageo was actually releasing this bottle at a very, very good price.
Yeah.
55.8% ABV, 20-year-old Cragganmore. I'm going an ounce and a half of this.
Ounce and a half.
Yes, sir.
Get that age up there.
Yeah.
Smart. I just wrote in my... All right, so bring the ABV down a little bit. Start with my second youngest bottle. I think Glenturret does a really good job of tasting a little bit like Macallan without costing $1,000 a bottle. So I decided to go with Glenturret, and the added benefit of going with a Glenturret is that you get 46%.
Yeah.
And you get unchill filtered.
Nice.
So obviously it checks all the boxes, and it's the closest thing to Macallan to give a nice little sherry punch. 1 ounce of that.
Nice. Okay. Next for me, I gotta go Campbelltown, even though we're not including Springbank per se.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Kilkerran 16 that P-Boss just brought for us.
P-Boss.
Shout out to Silent Bob.
Silent Bob in the
camera
background,
tonight.
yeah.
It's the new 16-year-old, 46%. This is the 2022 release. I mean, you got to put a little bit of Campbelltown stuff in here. This Kilkerran, I think, is about 70% ex-bourbon. It's 20% sherry. They always just come up with this, like, really nice, muddy, gooey funkiness.
Mm-hmm.
Just a half ounce of this.
Half ounce.
Yep.
Nice. So I actually want to try to replicate and recreate my own Campbelltown without using a Campbelltown.
Yeah.
So I decided to go Ben Romick for my next cask, and this is my youngest. This is just over 10 years old, or almost 11 years old. 10 years old. And it's 58.5%. It's a single cask, sherry cask. This is a beauty. We tried this off camera.
So good. Ben Romick, obviously been coined by some very prominent whiskey people as the Springbank of Highland. If you can't find Springbank, we have said before, try some Ben Romick, because the peat influence in here kind of mimics what Springbank peat influence is, as far as like intensity and balance is concerned.
Yeah. So I'm at 3 ounces. You're at about 4 ounces so far?
I'm at
3, just over 3.
I'm at 3 ounces as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm equal parts of all 3 of those.
Yeah, and I've gone heavier in the Cragganmore and lighter on the Kilkerran.
The Kilkerran, yeah.
All right, I gotta bring some peat in here, and not just like some Campbelltown peat, some heavy peat. My next one, I'm going Octomore. This is the 9.3. This one I named Whiskey of the Year way back in 2019, maybe 2018.
Yeah, you really like the 9.3.
I really like the 9.3 because I felt like it reminded me the most of the 6.3, which is the all-time best Octomore ever bottled.
I agree.
According to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Of course, Octomore, it's 5 years old. It's coming in at 62.9% ABV. It's got the 0.3s have that really kind of farmy element to it. They're very unique in that way that you get this like farm, you get this like damp hay, you get a really interesting peat profile. Just a quarter ounce in this. This is very strong stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't want to overpower it.
Yeah. And
just a quarter ounce.
Whenever you're adding a peated whiskey, it's very easy to overpower, especially in an infinity bottle. Like, I don't know if you've ever made your own infinity bottle, but
I've ruined infinity bottles by doing too much of one thing for sure.
And too much peat can really dominate, right? Like,
yeah.
Especially something like an Octomore. So I'm keeping my age up, And I really wanted to add Old Pulteney for the brininess that they can mimic almost like a Highland Park in brininess without the peat. This one is sherry forward for sure. The 18-year-old, 46%. All the fun things, checks all the boxes. Gonna get another ounce going in here. 18 years old. So far, if you're keeping track, I have one 10-year-old, one 12-year-old, one 15-year-old, one 18-year-old.
And I have a 5, a 16, a 20, and a 12.
Nice.
What we'll do at the end of this, we'll put all the percentages up on the screen so you'll see the makeup of both of our blends. All right, lastly for me. Now, I said I was going to go ex-bourbon, but this is kind of like a cheater bottle. It's not really ex-bourbon. It's virgin oak.
It's virgin oak. It's non-sherry. We can say that.
It's non-sherry. And who does virgin oak in, the whiskey world better than Cavalan? They make some insane virgin oak bottles. And I think the way they do it is they mature these things until there's almost nothing left.
Yeah, well, it's borderline syrup in the cask.
They open it up and dust comes out, and there might be a little drop left in there because
There
these things only yield 80 bottles. That's
Crazy.
it. That's the entire cask is down to 80 bottles. These are aged 12, 13, 14 years old. That's super old for the climate in Taiwan. We love these things. I absolutely love this. I think this is going to add a crazy element to my blend. It's going to take it over the top for sure.
And it'll trick the eyes, right? Because it'll make it look a little darker.
That's right. And just a quarter ounce of this as well.
A quarter ounce.
Just a quarter ounce. Just a splash.
Just splashing it.
That's it.
Interesting. Okay, last but not least for me, you guys know I love this bottle. It's the Aaron 18, 46%. This is the darker version. The newer version is still all sherry. It's just not as dark. I'm going to do another full ounce as my last bit here, and hopefully I achieve the flavor I was looking for. I'm going to add a little disclaimer here. I was going to add the Lejag 18. But I was afraid that it would dominate and just taste too much like a Lejag 18 because it's such a strong peated whiskey.
Right.
So.
Yeah, good point. So there we have it. On the screen right now, you'll see the makeups of our blends and how much percentage is each, and the average age as well.
Yeah.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour them and try them. Now, it could be pretty obvious of which one of ours is which. Sherry versus ex-bourbon. But you never know. We're going to give our honest opinion.
Should we get P-Boss to come in and kind of like switch these cups around?
I think people want to see P-Boss.
Yeah.
They want to see him.
P-Boss, you ready to switch these cups around?
In the comments right now, what would you choose if you could pick one of our blends? Obviously, we haven't tasted them yet. But would you go with? Would you go with Rob's concoction or would you go with mine? Comment down below right now. Let us know which one you're going to pick.
Yeah, before the results.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Who's going to win or which one would you rather drink?
Yeah, no one, this is not a competition. It's just more.
It's a competition.
Well, it is and it isn't. Like, we both like sherry. So we decided to go one side,
We have the contrast, yeah.
Yeah. So P-Boss is going to come in here. He's going to switch these cups around.
So
make sure
these
that
two are labeled, and the ones with labels are mine. So we need one of these on each side and one of those on each side.
The ones without labels. We'll move out of the way.
Tomo is engineered to restore balance and function to your body after drinking with ingredients that help attack the underlying causes of discomfort. So when we record the Whisky Rant podcast, we have to be up and at 'em the next day. You got kids, I got work. There's lots of things that we need to do in the morning. We can't be feeling the effects of a long night recording this episode.
Right. I consume this an hour before. This way, if we do 3 or 4 episodes in one night, I'm not going to feel the effects when I get to work the next day.
Could be a long night. You drink this before. You wake up feeling refreshed. You don't have that haze in the morning, which you normally would if you consume a bit too much alcohol.
Yeah. It's similar, like somewhere between like a tangerine juice and like a grapefruit juice.
Mix Tomo into a glass of water and consume while drinking up to 1 hour before drinking or after drinking.
Say bye-bye to post-drinking inflammation. Alcohol triggers your immune system to produce an inflammatory reaction that causes discomfort. Ingredients in Tomo support healthy inflammatory responses.
Rob, do you know what a weekend warrior is?
I do not.
Someone who golfs just on the weekends. A lot of my buddies like to golf on the weekends. They like to tee off early. Maybe after having a couple drinks the night before, I can drink one of these before I go, tee off early, not have to hit a breakfast ball on the first tee.
Yeah, you'll be nice and fresh. Your buddies will be amazed. Yeah, one box comes with 10, so one can go a long way.
Yep, yeah, definitely. Be sure to take care of yourself. Do one of these before you have a couple drinks. Wake up early, feeling refreshed. So check out tomolabs.co, link in the description. Grab yourself a box and start feeling refreshed in the morning after having some alcohol. You didn't try to say anything into the microphone.
That was a true Silent Bob moment.
You got to stay in character, of course.
All right, let's do this. I'm excited. Did you want to get a pour of one of these?
He's like, that stuff's going to be terrible, guys.
You guys are on your own.
Like, who thought of this stupid idea? The nose on this one is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, right off the hop. Whose is whose? But maybe not. They both smell great.
That's nice. That's really good. The nose on this one's good too. Okay, we did good, I think. They're both nice.
Oh, wow. Wow. Sometimes the combination is the sum is actually better than the,
right?
the individual parts.
Yeah.
That actually happens once in a while, and I think it actually happened tonight.
Yeah. Those are good.
That's crazy. I actually want to make a bottle of what I just made.
It's good.
It's easy to tell which one's which. I haven't tried
Yeah,
yours
I think
yet.
so too.
That's actually really good too. That's really good.
I mean, I know one until yours, obviously. I feel like yours, the Glenallachie, kind of dominates on the nose, and then on the palate, it's really a good concoction of everything together, I feel.
Yeah. Get a hint of that Benaramic in there. On the nose, especially.
You know, I've never had like a peated Macallan. I think they only really did one. Wasn't that like that black bottle? What was the peated Macallan? The black bottle something?
They had
What the heck was that?
They had the Rare Cask Black.
Rare Cask Black, and that was peated?
That was peated.
Right, yeah.
And they also have another black. I can't remember what is it. The M
peated?
Black. It might be the M Black.
I've never tried them, but I kind of feel like this is maybe what it would taste like.
Okay, so maybe we don't choose a winner because I think I would enjoy both of these on separate nights. Like I don't know if I like one better than the other. They're
Yeah.
very different drinks.
Yeah.
Like one is for one kind of night, and then the other is for another kind of night, or you know.
Yeah, I will say that I do prefer yours.
Okay.
Not that like mine isn't enjoyable. I do like it too, but I don't know. Whatever it is that sherry blend that you've made is really good. It is really solid. It is really good.
I like the element that these three. I feel like these three are really standing out to me the most.
Yeah.
The Benaramic, the Old Pulteney, and the Glenallachie.
Mm-hmm.
It makes for like a nice briny, very like sweet, but a little bit of smoke. You know.
Yep.
And then what I really like about yours is that element that the Cragganmore and the and the Octomore are doing together. And like I don't really know if I pick up the virgin oak that much, which is kind of surprising because it's very dominant when you.
Well, I
drink
only
it.
put in a quarter ounce of the virgin oak just
Yeah.
because it is very potent.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, no, I am liking my blend. I think that it's got a really nice kind of like fresh fruit, like kind of like an orchard fruit with like a honey kind of note to it. There's a little bit of smoke in there. It's not very much. I'm glad I didn't go heavy on the Octomore.
There is absolutely nothing like off-putting about either of these. I don't know. I might actually like yours a touch more.
Here we go.
I think it's. We haven't revealed yet. We don't actually know for sure that. Or did you already peek?
About which one's which?
Yeah.
No, I'm just assuming that this one's yours because it tastes like sherry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're wrong about that, like, just turn off the channel right now.
Right? Wow, don't speak too soon.
That's true. I've said worse things. On
We've
this show.
done crazy shit before.
Yeah.
What was the one? Oh, we were both convinced in that 18-year-old challenge that the Aaron won, and it was the Glenallachie 18.
Yep.
We were convinced.
We were convinced that we knew it.
Yeah.
And we were totally fucking wrong.
I feel like yours is more of a pour and play, and I feel like that's strange because I think you added more cask strength than I did.
Yeah, like 3 of the 5 are cask strength. They're 246. And the majority of it was Cragganmore.
Okay, so here's a question. Would you up the percentage of one of these now that you've tasted it, maybe you didn't achieve the flavor that you were looking for over another one?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that on days I would want just maybe some more peat. I would just put some more Octomore in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so delicate because like you can just wash it out with Octomore, you know? You'd have to maybe just add just a little bit at a time. But yeah, I could crank up the peat if you did it in a way that didn't override it, you know?
Yeah, so like for me, although I mixed in 3 46% whiskeys, all equal parts, the 2 cask strengths really dominate. So I can't do the math in my head because I'm trying to think. It's probably around, if I have to look here, we're looking at about 52%-ish across the board.
You ever see people on whiskey too?
Guessing.
Well, they pour like who knows how much they pour, anywhere between 1 to 2 ounces, and they'll put some water in. Like, yeah, that's about 48 now.
That's about 48 now.
Like,
yeah.
how are you possibly saying that that's 48?
No.
How would you know?
I mean, simple math. If you know the numbers of what you're putting in and the equal
I know,
parts,
like
is different.
you're adding water to
No,
a
water
whiskey,
makes no sense.
and you're thinking that you can exactly guess what you brought it down to.
No,
the only
that's-
way to like realistically do that is like if you have an ounce at 40% and you put an ounce of water in, now you have a 20% whiskey,
Right.
and that's for sure a thing.
Exactly.
But putting in a couple drops or like a half teaspoon, like, oh yeah, that's probably about 48. Bring it down to about 48 there.
Yeah.
Bring it down from 53.2 with who knows how much liquid to water ratio you've actually done. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, that's 48%.
Yeah, that's the best.
So you can accurately calculate your percentage of ABV, right? Because you have percentages plus you
Yeah.
have how much you put in. So there's a ratio between each one.
Yeah, it's like when I try to quickly like add up a kid's overall mark in
Right.
my head before I type it in the calculator. It's very similar. You just take the larger numbers and you just subtract portions of it into the smaller numbers to make it all level. So I'm like it's about, like I said, 52. I would add more of the Opal in the 18.
Yeah. I'm getting like a really nice coffee note from yours, which I really like a lot.
Yeah, that's got to be coming from these two.
I was going to say it's probably the Glenallachie.
Yeah. Like you get the peat and the like almost like the funk, the Ben Romick funk.
Yeah.
Right?
Love that.
Get that from
Yeah.
the Ben Romick.
So are you gonna distinctly pick a winner here, or
Yeah, I'm gonna go with yours.
I'm gonna go with yours. Well, I'm gonna go with with this glass, which I think is yours, and it is,
Yeah, this is yours.
and that one's mine.
I
Wow.
feel like yours is more of
Interesting.
a pour and play.
There you go.
I really do think that
It's Cragganmore heavy.
it's Cragganmore heavy, but the Kilkerran like brought down the level. The Daft Mill brought down the level. Everything is very like mellow and it doesn't drink hot at all.
Yeah.
But mine is more spicy for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more spice heavy.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So
Really interesting.
it's a draw.
Yeah, I thought we would maybe come to consensus, like we both picked the same thing or whatever, but interesting.
Yeah, I think it really depends on mood. Tonight
Yeah.
I'm like digging that fruity. Like we started the night off with the Tobias and the Angel.
Yes.
Right. So like this kind of actually reminds me a little bit of that. Like
Yeah.
it has those elements.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my head's at, I guess.
Yeah, no, really cool.
So that could be part of it.
Well, leave us a comment down below. If you could pick elements from different distilleries, like you could take, this element from this and this element from this and make your dream distillery, what would you choose?
Yeah.
What distilleries are included and what parts from those distilleries do you like the most?
Before we leave, which one of yours would you take out, and then I'll answer that question as well.
I don't know. Good question. I'd maybe take out the virgin oak
Okay.
because I feel like it's the most different out of all of these as far as how it's matured.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not Scotch, where
Right.
all the other ones are.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to call it a blended Scotch.
Right. It's
Right.
not. It's not a blended Scotch.
It's still a blended malt.
It's a blended whiskey malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blended malt, but just not a blended Scotch. I would probably take out the Benromic, just because I feel like it's pretty dominant, and there's elements to this Ben. Like if I could change it up, I would probably put the Benromic 15 in here instead, because it's a little less punch in your face, like in the face.
Yeah.
This is a very strong, in your face whiskey,
Right.
and it shows in a blend.
Yeah. Really
Right.
good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Check out our Patreon. Subscribe to the channels. Throw up a like.
Yep.
And until next time, guys, we'll talk to you then. Cheers.
Cheers.